Good morning, everyone. So I hope all of my fellow small business owners are crunching their numbers. and you've probably seen the news. President Biden is really pushing that $15 an hour minimum wage. I don't necessarily disagree with it, but I don't agree with it either. And it's one of those things that, yeah, as an advanced country, we're a little bit behind the times, but this is also America. Damn it, this is our choice. Anyways, to that being said, hopefully you've seen the schedule and you're starting to crunch the numbers for the next 4 years and figure out, can you do it? Some of you are probably going to say, nope, I'm out, closed doors. And other of you are probably going to give it an honest try. And others are just going to wing it as you go. But this is really going to impact small business. It's not going to really hit the bigger businesses because most of the bigger businesses are already pretty close to that threshold or above that already. So the smaller businesses are where it's going to really hurt. And if you haven't seen the schedule, let me show you. And this is from a news report I saw. This is not true and accurate as of yet. Ohio's current minimum wage right now is $8.55 as of this month. Upon signing the law by Biden, it would go up to $9.50. 12 months later, it goes up to $11. 2022 to $12.50. 2023, it's $14. 2024, it's $15. That is the proposed schedule. The problem you see with this is the longer they hold it up in Congress, this is where these numbers are going to really hurt. I'm just thankful they just didn't decide to say, well, as of today, it's $15, because that would just devastate the economy. So at least they're doing it in steps. I think they should have went out a little bit longer, and hopefully Congress, when they put their package together, I know that's what Biden has asked for, but hopefully when they put their plan together or the law together and they do get around to doing this, I hope they kind of like stretch this out a little bit longer, not too much longer, because upon signing it immediately goes to $9.50. Within 12 months it goes up to $11, so you get a whole 12 months to adjust. But if your next jump scale is 3 months apart here, that's really going to hurt. So hopefully they will make some adjustments here. I know what he wants to do. He wants to get this in here by the time he runs for re-election. But that's what he's trying to do. And like I said, I'm not necessarily opposed to it, but I think there needs to be lots of temporary holes to allow small businesses to do this. And the reason, like I said, hopefully you're going through, my fellow small business owners are going through and looking at these numbers and saying, okay, can we do this? Or do we just, we're done? And that's really what it's going to come down to is, here's your schedule. Start crunching those now, and see, are you going to be able to make it? And once you go from here to here, what type of impact is it going to make on your sales? Because that is like a $7 jump. And contrary to what everyone is saying in all the other places, oh, prices don't go up. Bull, they will go up. They have to go up. If you're paying people more, that's an expense. You got to cover that expense. So things will go up. How fast they go up, that's going to be a whole different ball of wax. And that's what I have been trying to figure out for us, is where is that break point? Our break point has been more of a numbers, not necessarily a dollar amount. And so I've been working on this kind of like all day. And trying to figure out where our break point will be. And you're going to see some numbers here, and it's probably going to shock a lot of people. We have people come into the store and they say it's $100 and they walk out. They're like, oh, that's too expensive, until you realize that what is about to happen is going to make it a lot worse. So At this current time, me and June put in roughly 72 hours a week. We pay ourselves each $650 a week. Comes out to a little over $7,800 a year for each of us. Now, if you're curious, that is $2.08 an hour we pay ourselves. Yes, as owners, we can do that, and so that's how we've done it for years. This is how we keep that price mark at like $100. And these are our fixed expenses for the month. Rent's 350, electric's about 150, heat's about 150. Heat fluctuates through the year. That's Columbia Gas. During the winter months it can be 250, 300, and in the summer months it's like 30. But on average, it's about 150. Same with the electric. It fluctuates from month to month, but on average is about 150. Our internet landlines, about 250 a month. Verizon, you know who that is, cell phones. We got about $260 wrapped up a month in them. Our various insurances, and so this is our fixed rates. And I need to go back through here and confirm that these are all correct and true, but I believe they are. And then we have our non-fixed. These are the ones that fluctuate every month depending upon demand and need and so on and so forth. So inventory and purchases, we spend about $1,300 a month. Fuel, because we go to homes, we go to businesses, about $450 a month on fuel. Office supplies about $100. Miscellaneous is just like odd stuff. Interest on loans and stuff like that, about $100. Maintenance, this is vehicle maintenance, this is maintenance for equipment, so on and so forth, about $200 a month. Bank fees, this is your credit card transaction fees and your monthly bank account, so on and so forth, about $6. So you could see on a monthly average we spend about $4,200, $48, or roughly $3,500. I'm sorry, we spend about $3,500 a month in expenses. And so at our current pay scale, that means we need to clear about 36 computers service calls a month to clear our expenses. And that includes, of course, paying us our $2.08 an hour. So, so over the course of a year, our floating expenses are about 42. Our fixed expenses, of course, are added into that. I think I might have that. I do have that screwed up. So we'll come back to this later and figure it out. My apologies. I thought it made an error, but I did not. So so our fixed is 13. Our floating is about 22. This is our total monthly. And if you take that monthly times 12, these are expenses, you get 42, and of course you add in our salaries, brings us to 58. Okay, I thought I was wrong. I thought I had to put another number in there, so nope, I'm good. So, sometimes you work on these for hours on end and they start looking all fuzzy. So our annual expenses, this is our salary, this is our fixed expenses, this is our non-fixed expenses. And the thing is, with fixed expenses, they don't really fluctuate a whole lot. Non-fixed is they do. And so this is, about $60,000 a year is what we expend in expenses every year. And of course, that's our break point currently. That's what we have to clear every year to make a little bit of money. To show you this is last year's 2020 profit and loss. As you see, $60,000 roughly. Expenses $489. So you can see it was pretty much on the money for last year. So that's pretty close. You can't get too much more closer than that. So when you're looking at this, last year we did a total of 753 invoices, totaling, of course, the $59,569 in invoices, which is below the threshold. But anyone who has dealt with us in the past knows that, if you have a 5-minute fix, it's only $25. If you're a residential contract client, obviously you pay a monthly fee versus this per service fee. And so $60,000 divided by this, you get, you know, an average of $80 an invoice. And so, when you compare that to estimated sales, we lost out at about $20 per invoice. It's just their numbers. But when I look at this year, and this here is based solely off of the numbers that are for this month. As I've mentioned in previous videos, this month has been a phenomenal month. Absolutely, totally frightening. Awesome. I wish every month was like this. It will never happen though. So basing these numbers for 2021 off of January, we should pull in about 840 invoices for the year, almost $100,000 in sales, which gives us $116 per invoice with the service fees, so on and so forth. We should clear roughly a $14,000 profit on top of our salaries. Yeah, that would be nice, but here's the reality. I'm thinking we might clear about 800, and then we might take about a $4,000 loss in total sales. This is more based on reality, because month to month changes a lot every year. But here's the thing: we start getting into this, and you'll see I've got these highlighted in blue, because. And I'm going to mention, and you see they're mentioned Temp 1 and Temp 2. Our legal structure does not allow us to hire employees. That was done intentionally. And if you've seen some of my posts, I kind of throw it out there. Employees are bad. No, they're not. I do that that's more really trolling. But in our particular case, we are legally structured not to hire employees. And it was a choice that we made 7 years ago because we really never expected to be a point that we would ever have to hire an employee. And so when we did the LLC structuring, there's a questionnaire on your SS4 form. Do you ever plan to hire employees? No. And to go back and change that now would, I don't want to say cost a whole lot of money, but it would change the structure of the business, and you have to refile all the paperwork, and then you have to refile with the new tax ID number with the state, and so on and so forth. No. So we just decided that if we're going to hire, we'll probably hire through a temp service, and that gives us some advantages too. That if a particular temp doesn't work out, we can tell them not return, and they send a new one. So it works out. It's more expensive that way. However, it does work out, at least I think in our advantage. So again, looking at the numbers and what we are capable of doing ourselves, June and I, we are probably capable of pulling off 1,200 invoices a year. As you see, 750 there. We're looking at 800 this year, so we still got a ways to go before we have to worry about that. Although, if you've ever dealt with me, you've probably heard me say there are days I need 6 of me. Yes, and this past month, that has been more often than not. I need 6 of me to do my job. But yeah, that's our maximum workload is probably about 1,200 invoices in a particular year, or 4 computers a day. There are days we do more. Most times we do 1 or 2. But yeah, 1,200 is probably going to be our break point on what June and I can handle on our own. And like I said, with us now doing split shift because of the pandemic, I can start them, she can finish them. Or if she gets one in late at night, she can start it and I can finish it the next day. So, but 1,200 invoices / computers, service calls in a 12-month period is probably our break point. Like I said, 1,200, if you divide that by 12, you get 300 a month? Yeah, or 300 a month? No, 100 a month. I'm sorry. Do math. Sorry, public education. So that's 100 a month. So that's 3 a day if you're doing it that way. Like I said, 4 is probably where we could do it, because I've got 2 workstations there. I have the possibility of putting 2 more there. And if I really had to, and we've had to do that once or twice, I can literally put two laptop workstations on the other side. So, and yeah, we've had one week where we've had 6 computers in all at the same time. And yes, we can do it. It's just not something we do all the time. We have 2 dedicated systems. We have 2 part-time systems that just a matter of plugging in stuff and there it is. And then of course we do some work over on the other counter as needed. But 4 a day, usually. And like I said, that's taking into account about $300, so hopefully this pandemic will end and we can take some time off. I mean, the only days we had off this past 9 months is Thanksgiving and Christmas. June's suffering from burnout. I'm suffering from burnout, but we have a smile on our face. So, but yeah, 1,200 is about where we're going to be. Now, of course, with minimum wage going up, it's going to affect everything. And you see here, I've got it marked as 125. It can be as much as 150. It just really depends, because the $100 benchmark that we used was assuming that we were paying someone $10 an hour. And so that's where that $100 came in. It was, $10 an hour. Most service calls takes about 6 hours to do. So that was $60 to the technician, $40 to us for reinvestment. So that's where that $100 comes in. But if we start where we have to pay a minimum wage, and of course we're using a temp service, so that's going to be a lot more expensive, but I also don't have to worry about taxes and insurance and so on and so forth. I mean, I still have, my insurance will go up when I hire temps, but that's to be expected. Excuse me. But yeah, once we reach this point, we are going to need extra help, and I don't expect that we will reach this until 2025. At the current rate of growth, it may change. With the pandemic, hopefully, I don't want to say it'll go away by January or by June, July, but hopefully it will be knocked down in a month where curfews are lifted and lockdowns are no longer possible, and it's safe to be out and about. So that's why I said the prediction for the based on January 21 numbers was 840. I'm maybe 800. That's my guess in reality, and this would be my guess on dollar amount, because that would be absolutely totally phenomenal. But I don't see that being reality. Like I said, though, January has been an awesome month, and if every month was like that, that $97,000 is certainly possible. So, but yeah, this is our break point. This is to the point that we are yelling and screaming at each other because there's just too much work. And so at that point we would have to hire. And you see, like I said, service fee is $100 now, and all of the rest of this year it will be $100. Next year we'll have to kind of play it by ear and see. In fact, I mean, the rest of this year we're going to kind of play it and see how it works, but I don't expect the raise price. By the time we get to 2024, 2025, we will probably have to go up to 150, because all of these expenses over here are going to go up. It might not be immediate, it might not be right away, but they will go up. So that's the thing to remember, is even though it's either fixed anytime, like the landlord, obviously he's got things to pay for too, and so he could raise the rent, the electric can go up, Columbia Gas can go up, Time Warner can charge us more, so these are all, just that's the reality of it. Anytime any particular one expense goes up, it has to be passed on. So that's what's going to happen. So like I said, I don't want to do the 150, simply because at 150, a couple $100 more, you can buy a new laptop or a new desktop. It might be closer to 125. I think that would be more of a reasonable jump. 125, just a $25 increase. We already charge that now for pre-pandemic In-home service calls $125. We already charged that. So taking up, in-store service calls to $125 and in-home service calls to $150. I don't think that would necessarily. I don't think too many people will balk at that. But we shall see how this goes. Because then we're clearing an estimated 150 at 1,200 invoices a year. We're clearing 150, and this is our expenses right now. It's 60, so we would clear like $90,000 if these never changed. That's not going to happen. These will change, and when these start changing, then But I mean, even if we left it at 100 right now, which is the threshold that June and I can hold, still it's 120. That's 60. That's $60,000 in profit. I don't see that happening either without these numbers changing. It's no. I don't see it happening. So these expenses will go up over the next 4 years. Just reality. And anyone who is a small business owner will tell you this is going to happen. Your fixed expenses are going to go up. Your non-fixed expenses going up. Your personal expenses are going to go up. We spend roughly $200 a week on groceries. I expect by the end of 2024 we'll be paying about $300. So that's what I'm looking at. So, but that's what I am thinking so far. By the time we get to 2025, if we're pushing out 1,200 invoices in a 1-year period, that's going to be our maximum workload between June and I. And that's, like I said, that'll be really, really pushing it. Now, let me explain this. What happens by the time we get to this point, minimum wage will probably be up to 15. And so if we hired one temp, we already have had this structured for many, many years. It's actually a part of our business plan that we operate in 6-hour shifts. Because 6-hour shifts, I think, are better for people than 8 and 12. I never phantom the idea of a factory running 12-hour shifts, or hospitals for that matter, but that's just me. So if we did 6-hour shifts, temp number one, 6 hours a day for 5 days, that's 30 hours. That 30 hours is actually considered full-time according to Obama. Yep, those of you who remember. So so that would be like almost $1,935, $2,300. Of course, the temp service will probably bill us this month, and you see our monthly expenses or our yearly expenses would go up to $116,000. So we would still be making a profit there, but the moment we added another temp into it, there you go. We're now back to only making $6,000 in profit, even at the $150 benchmark. So, break even. Where do you draw that line? Where's that break point? As much as I would like to have the additional help, I don't know. We might have to, if we got to this point where we were exceeding it, it'd be a hard decision. Do we start turning people away so we can make money? And as I've said, profit has never been our motivation. Do we hire the temps and bring them in to help? It's still, this is not even giving ourselves a raise. It's still paying us at $2.08 an hour. So, I don't know. It's going to be one of those things that I'm going to be crunching numbers for probably months on end to determine that break point. What is it going to take? And then I have to watch my competitors too. Best Buy, Staples, what are they doing? I have to look at my local competitors and see, because if I would jump to $150 and they're still like at 80, I've just priced myself out of the market. And this is going to be true for every small business in the area. When you start crunching these numbers, you're going to watch your competitors a lot closer. Who's going to be the first one to raise their prices? Because once that first person raises their prices, then I can raise my prices. But if everyone hems and haws and doesn't raise their price, to account for that minimum wage going up, yeah, I can see an economic collapse, another one, small business collapse coming in 4 to 5 years. And yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough 4 years, no matter which way you do this. It's just going to be, can we keep going at the level that we're going at and keep providing the services that we're doing? And at what point does this becomes too much where I have to hire help? And at what point is it just not worth it anymore? And every small business owner is going to have to make that determination on their own. It's just plain and simple. So, yeah. Hopefully my fellow small business owners are not paying themselves $2.08 an hour. But that's just what we chose a long time ago. $1,300 a month is what we pay ourselves. And that pays our rent and our utilities and pays for the truck. And, so we're going to have to eventually, when everything else starts going up, we're going to have to give ourselves a raise too, which then goes into the bottom line of how much of this, and so if we even had to bump our own salaries up to offset our personal expenses, that goes back into the business on bumping it up. So yeah, it's going to be a real rough time. So hopefully, I don't expect us to go anywhere anytime soon. I fully expect that we will make it to 2024. I think we can make it through the rest of the year and not raise our prices at all, even if the minimum wage goes up. Like I said, it goes up immediately to $9.50, and then 12 months later goes up to $11 an hour. I think we can, even at $11 an hour, we can hold that. That's only, a little bit of an increase, but we're going to see, we'll start seeing those bumps in prices as things go up. So like I said, at $8.55 right now, if a gallon of milk is $2.79, at $8.55, everyone goes up $1 upon signing the new bill. You can expect milk probably to go up a quarter. And then the following year it's $1.50, so you can probably see 35-40 cents 12 months later. Again, just observations. I know the economists are saying, no, it doesn't work that way. And all the liberal armchair people are saying, no, it doesn't do that. Yes, it does. Look at history. Look it up. Compare bread prices, milk prices to the minimum wage. It takes about a year before you see it, but you'll see those prices creeping up with the minimum wage. So it does happen. You just got to go look. So yeah, that's my thoughts there. I think, like I said, through the rest of this year, I think we can maintain that $100 service fee that we've been doing. I think there's a good probability through 2022 we can hold that $100 service fee. But that's when we're going to start watching our competitors really close to see who's bumped up their price. Because we get into 23 and 24 where minimum wage starts doing that big jump, someone's got to give. As long as my prices don't go up too much, I can maintain that $100 service fee. And like I said, still make a profit, even with the pandemic. Let me show you, even with the pandemic, I made a profit, and I've made videos about this. I'm so happy I made a profit, because we've never put profit first. But we do have to pay our bills. So, yeah. What are we going to do? So if I do have to bump it up, I'm hoping to keep it at a minimum of 125 if I have to. I don't want to go up to 150, but if I see my competitors going up to 150 in one shot, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how things go. So again, all of my other fellow small business owners, yeah, hopefully you're crunching numbers already and looking at the next 4 years, 5 years and going, oh my God, what do I do? Yeah, find out where your maximum break point is, and find out what you need to do and start deciding. Because if I had to go 125 and hire 2 temps, I'm not making it. I'm $24,000 short. So then that means I have to only hire one temp for 6 hours a day. Excuse me. Let me drop this back to 125. About $35, about $35,000 in profit. So maybe I might be able to take them up, the next step up to 40. I hate doing a 40-hour, 8-day shift. There, you know, if it got to that point. But the moment I put in another person, like I said, it would have to go up. I would not have a choice, and even then, I think that's not even enough. Yep, not even enough. Not even enough. So, yeah. Hopefully you're all going through figuring out budgeting, estimating, and guesstimating for the next 4 years to see where your break point is going to be. And like I said, some of you are going to look at those numbers and say, I'm out. Some of you are going to look at it and say, I'm going to give it a try because I owe it to my employees. Some of you are already far exceeding this, so it has no impact on you whatsoever. But for small mom and pop shops like us, you know, now we have to look at our maximum workload, what we can handle ourselves, you know, at our base pay of $2.08 an hour. Like I said, we are probably going to have to give ourselves a raise because everything is just going to start creeping up. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this goes. So, ideas, throw them in the comment section. You know, automation, whatever you guys want to throw in the comment sections about, you know, what you're doing to hopefully offset this. Like I said, automation, temps, hiring family. I believe in Ohio, if you are a small business like us and you hire family, you're exempted from small minimum wage. However, federal law changes that sometimes. So, but yeah, throw your comments down there. Let's have a discussion about this because it's important. We need to pay. We need to prepare. We need to plan. And like I said, those of you who are seeing the writing on the wall and says it's time to get out, you know, I understand. I do. Those of us who are looking at the numbers and saying maybe, give it a fair share. If you got employees who are family or like family, you know, give it a fair shake. And then small mom and pops like me, where it's just me and my wife, we're gonna go as far as we can until we can't go any further, and just continuing on doing what we're doing. So, but yeah, prices are gonna go up, including ours. That's the unfortunate thing. So, anyways, like I said, discussion down below in the comment section. Throw them out there. Let's get this all fired up. Share this with your friends across social media. You know, there's a share button down this way and this way. There's a share button. Share it. If you don't have a Google account or a Microsoft account, been talking for too long. If you don't have a Google account or a YouTube account, you know, you can find us on Facebook. If you do, please subscribe. The numbers really help. Donation links are in the video description below. Click the see more and you'll see some other links like our Facebook, our MeWe, our 2 donation links for donating. One is set for $5 and the other one is a PayPal open value. Put in whatever you want, value, and some other things there. So like I said, give it a thumbs up. I'll talk to you all later. You guys have a great day.